This is The Jeff Crowley Show on Talk Radio 1190.
Welcome back to the Jeff Crowley Show. I had the pleasure of having lunch yesterday with Helen Martin. She is my next guest. Helen, welcome to the Jeff Crowley Show.
Thank you, Jeff. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Yes, well, she's a delightful person and with an amazing history. I'll tell you that for the last few years, she has been lending her generous talents to KD Conservatory. That's kdstudio.com. But why don't you start your story, because you're you know a ton about fashion and modeling and all that stuff, and now
Right.
you've been sharing that with the next generation. But tell me your story.
Thank you. I have. I've been at KD for a while. I loved it. I started as a fashion model and runway model at Kim Dawson agency, and Neiman's was my account, my biggest account. But it all started in my hometown in Abingdon, Illinois, when my home ec teacher said to my parents that I should be a fashion model. And my dad goes, "What? Oh, no, I think it's a nurse. I think, that kind of thing."
Right.
But then that stayed in my mind, and it never left me. So I went on to Chicago, was very successful there as a fashion and runway model, worked in New York, and then I was married, came to Dallas, and I started working in Dallas, and I had a separate career here. So my joyous things about this industry and about modeling and about what I did was working with the top people. That you have top designers, and
Yes.
you have incredible makeup people and stylists. So you're always working with the best. And the best are always the nicest. Top people like Karl Lagerfeld and Stanley Marcus, was incredible gentleman. And he showed us so much about style. He brought the world to Neiman's. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Well, tell us a Stanley Marcus story, because he's obviously a legend in retailing and a Dallas icon. What was he like?
Well, he was an incredible, wonderful man that loved fashion, and he loved women. He thought that women were extraordinary and beautiful, and you should always be, glamorous. Women and glamorous, those two words go together. They aren't separate. That's another thing that I have learned about when I teach, when I have seminars in my new book that's coming out, High Fashion, High Adventure. That's what I talk about. Women, you never, ever stop. You're always glamorous. And Stanley loved that. We would get off the elevator and going to a show like Valentino was doing. We were doing a show for Yves Saint Laurent. And Mr. Stanley, never Mrs. Stanley, it wasn't Stanley, it was Mr. Stanley, would just beam at us and say that he was so happy that we were there doing the show. And when they did the Italian fortnight,
Yes.
Sophia Loren
Wow.
was there, and he knew that I loved her, and she was one of my idols. So he made it a point that I would meet her.
Oh, that's really cool.
So that was cool. So we have the same birth date, September 20th. And it was during that time, and I wished her a happy birthday in Italian. And she answered me in English. So, that
I think that's awesome.
that was like, okay, I have to practice my Italian, obviously. But she was lovely, of course. So when he passed away, that was sad. And I got a call from the agency that they wanted me to talk to a business program, and I can't think of the name of it, but they were connected with
Right. I think the Motley Fool you told me
Yes,
yesterday.
yes.
A huge show. Yeah.
Yeah, they were connected, or they were through Channel 13. So they said that they wanted to talk to a model about Stanley. So the agency called me, and I showed up. And all that time, I was thinking, what am I going to say about this man? What am I going to say? And that was about it. What an incredible gentleman he was, and how he a customer was always right, and he was so elegant. That was what I loved about him.
Well, let's talk about style and elegance, because I think that's been a thread throughout your career, and sharing it with the next generation. Do you think this next generation appreciates the style and grace that you've lived and experienced?
I think it's yes and no, but you have to go there. You have to. I teach a lot. I do a lot of seminars and teach. And the thing that happens, for instance, my students that come in at KD, I work part-time there now. I've been there for 12 years. It's the most amazing place in the world because it's wonderful. We change lives. And right now, we are in the middle of summer camps. So moms come in with their daughters, and if anybody walks in, holding their phone in my office, I just wait until they put it down, and because you have to look at me, and
Absolutely.
then we talk about it's what I find today. It's expressing themselves. And it's easy if you have someone that really is willing.
Yes.
And so I think we can work this out. I think we can talk to these and do it. I think glamour and elegance and fashion will always be here, and it's just something that we have to do and say.
I want to echo your sentiments about KD Conservatory. KDstudio.com is the website. It's almost like, to me, the TV show or movie Fame, where you go down a different corridor and there's performing arts and filmmaking and just so much buzz of activity and creativity. It's just very alive, isn't it?
It's very alive. It's very, very exciting. What's so wonderful is the 3-degree programs that we have.
Yes.
We have acting and musical theater and filmmaking. So all of this is together. The filmmakers love that they have the actors there, because
Yes.
then they can put them in their movies, and then the actors have a credit. They come in and they're, well, when do I get an agent? And I go, oh no. Then we start from scratch. Don't think about an agent. Don't talk about an agent. You have to have training. And it is, once they get in school, I love walking through that school, because all the years I've been there, not one student has ever said to someone I'm touring, don't come here, don't, it's not.
Right.
It's always do the right thing, come to KD, it'll change your life.
And you're actually learning from the best of the best.
And
these
the
are real,
best,
these
Jeff.
are people
we
who
have, these are working professionals in the industry. So they're teaching you, what you need now.
Right.
They're teaching you what you need now to get an agent, to be successful in the industry.
And so if you go to kdstudio.com, you're going to see all of these classes that are still going on throughout the summer. If you have a young person in your life who's looking for something to do this summer that would really advance their career.
In fact, sorry to interrupt. In fact, we have a musical theater summer camp starting Monday.
Wow.
I know. So if you have moms, if you have those kids that want to sing and dance,
right?
or
La La Land fans.
Yeah, and it starts on Monday. And then they have, full costume, tech, and then they have production for the family to come and watch performance. Later on, teens love, right now, they seem to love how to make movies. They're intrigued with that area.
Absolutely.
So it's really, we have a great teen film camp coming up on how to make movies. So get your teen there to get those classes. Yeah.
Helen, you are delightful. I'm sorry we're out of time for this
Oh,
segment,
no.
but yeah, it went so
Oh, no.
fast. We'll have to have you back again.
Thank you.
Thanks again for being on the Jeff
My
Crilley Show.
pleasure. Thank you for having me, Jeff.
When we come back, what's hot and what's not in the bridal industry? Bridal wedding trends for 2017 just ahead on the Jeff Crilley Show.
You're listening to The Jeff Crilley Show on Talk Radio 1190.